gentlemen, time for another version of Talk That Stuff. I'm your
Mm-hmm.
host, DJ Wide Body. Thank you once again. Thank you once again. Talk That Stuff. What's happening, everybody? We got
Talk it.
Miles Coltrane in the building. We got RTO Beach from out there on the West Coast. From the D, we got Tashir Rishay, CMA, baby. What's
Yes,
going
sir.
on, y'all?
What it be
Not much,
like?
man.
They call it, man. It's been a crazy week out there. It's been a real crazy week. A lot of y'all been getting y'all stuff off. My man, starting with my man, Mr. Rishay over there. You've been killing killing Facebook, man. What's popping, man? What kind of shit you done stepped in? Excuse my language there.
Nah, man. I'm just as we discussed a lot over the last couple of months, I've just been working a lot on websites and other stuff, and I just had to go back in.
Well, you went all the way in, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
See, we're saying before, man. Want to see some machine stuff, man. I can't wait for that. It's always a pleasure watching you operate, man. Definitely, it's a journey and an experience. So, can't wait for more, man. When I see that notification on that phone, man, I don't go ahead and pull up to the side of the road because I might swerve and hit something.
For sure, man.
Mr. RTO, what it do, man? You another silent killer there. You know,
Man, I'm just trying to do everything you guys doing.
man.
Whatever,
So,
dog.
I guess we following each other then, cause
Hey. Hey, here you go. Shut up, Ronnie.
Man. Wait a minute, crazy
Man,
week.
yeah, I mean, all you guys been inspiring me. So
Same here.
every time I look at one of you guys' videos, I feel a need. I need to try to do something.
Well,
Especially,
that's the whole inspiration, the whole reason why I jumped up and I went as hard as I did this week from sitting here
yeah,
watching all of y'all videos. I mean, while we're talking, freaking Wide Body on the live
Exactly.
broadcast. Come on, man. Come on, dog.
I get
It's hard not to be inspired when you got cats like Wide Body and RTO and Hertz and CX and, Jay Mitch and so many other cats, man, that we roll within the crew.
yeah,
Dog, it's hard not to, it's hard not to be inspired, or it's hard not to want to step up your game.
right on,
Yeah.
man.
Real talk.
Still sharp and still, man. For real.
Real talk.
Free CX the producer. Where are you, Where are you, CX the producer? Free CX. If anyone has seen this man, please tell him all been on Scratch Magazine.
Man, CX
Facebook.
laying low somewhere, dude. That
I
dude
guarantee-
he probably on an island or something.
Man, he got that machine. He's somewhere. He probably about to come out with like 30 machine joints. You watch.
Exactly.
for real. Probably more than that. As long as he been MIA,
For
probably
real.
got a whole couple of beat tapes done by now.
Hell yeah.
Wow. Mr. Miles in the building. Mr. Coltrane Miles.
Man, he's not
Light
even with
up.
us.
He stepped away for a minute.
All right. So what's going on, man? Anybody been out there digging? Anybody been digging up any good joints? Anything lately?
Dude, I've just been going through all the stuff that I actually have in my house.
Right.
That's the one reason I haven't joined e-digging yet, because I looked around like, damn, I got all these records that I haven't even used yet.
Yeah.
I got to do something about that. So that's what I've been using all this week, and when I get back on next week.
Wow.
So yeah.
I got a little collection, not like I used to have, but I've been starting to go through them. It's been a couple of years, and I'm starting to find stuff that I didn't get the first time. So I guess your ear definitely changes, man. So that's definitely been and I've been digging on top of that a little bit. So that's great, man. So I'm back into that vinyl.
That's something that me and Blessed Girl were talking about. Shout out to her. We were talking about a few days ago. Is she's still very, very, very brand new to this.
Yes.
And she already has said, I gotta stop buying records from the thrift store. I'm like, dog, your ears, I said, please take this exactly how I'm saying it. Your ears are still young.
Right.
And on top of that, don't fall into formulas or patterns or whatever.
Right.
Every day is different. Today you're feeling something that tomorrow you're not going to feel. So just like you said, and the same, I experienced it earlier in the week, is coming across a record that I've had for probably about 3 or 4 years that I tried to work something before and nothing happened. But this time, with new knowledge, new, more mature ears, new technology or whatever, now I can freak it. So
Right.
that's what it's all about, man.
Yes, it is, man. And you know, as we're talking, we're growing as far as of new things because that last record I listened to a couple of years ago, I'd have listened to it and I'd have been like, you know what? There's nothing I could do with that.
Right.
It's just not in my. I don't have that skill set right now. But now you're going back to that. You know what? I can do this and chop this like this and rearrange it like that. So that's been a challenge for me, man. Because I definitely, like I've been saying, man, ever since I've been knowing you guys, my creativity juices have been flowing. Pause. And
Likewise,
man,
though.
absolutely,
Yeah,
man.
for real.
I mean, I could go back to the stuff I made a couple of years ago, and I listen to the stuff I do now. Like my whole ear, my frequency, the mixes. I just get small things from one person to the other person. I get ideas, man, and I put them into effect, man. And that's nuts. That's what communities do, man. And that's
Hmm.
us as a whole. We are hip hop. We live hip hop. I've been living hip hop for almost 30 years now, more than that. And that's hip hop is not just music to me. It's the way of life, man. And that's why I feel so guarded, and that's why I feel so protective over it. Is that I am that we all as a collective make hip hop,
Yep, word.
and my opinion might be different than others, but I just feel like the state that hip hop is in right now is it's an ATM machine. It's people using it to make money. The passion for it. It was
Cash out.
not exactly. It was not meant to be used as an ATM machine. It's where you create your creative processes and your art, and you're able to express yourself, man, and reach people either
Well,
positive. Go ahead, Tertiary.
well, here's the thing. Here's a question, and I know this is a topic, so let's kick it off.
All right.
With the analogy that you just used about the ATM, let's really get down to brass tacks. Let's get down to the truth. Who's really cashing out? Because everybody that's claiming they're cashing out, they claim that they really getting paid, quote unquote. They're not getting paid.
Nah.
They're getting pimped. You
Pretty
might have
much.
more money than me and everybody in your neighborhood, but you don't have money.
Right. It's like
You might be rich, but you ain't wealthy.
Yeah,
right. Oh,
and
very
you
good.
hood rich because
Exactly.
everything that is your worth is on your person. It's in the driveway and it's on you. You got
Mm,
all these stupid chains and clothes and expensive shoes or whatever,
mm,
and then you got a stupid car in the driveway. But other than that, what do you have? Let's be
mm.
real. Do you have where's the 401k? Where's the plan to send your children to school? You know what I'm saying? Where's
Right.
the plan that you might be popping right now? You're on the charts at this very moment, but where's the plan and where's the residual money that's going to carry you a couple years from now?
Right. And
And that's something that they don't have. They truly don't. Everything that they walking around with right now, you can pull, a couple grand out your pockets. Okay. If that's all you got, then why the hell did you have it on you?
yeah,
Hmm.
What's the point?
you usually see somebody with a lot of money. The music most of the time they ain't got. That's all they got.
And like it's all in
Exactly.
the name of flossing.
Exactly.
Yes. Ghetto Fab. And this is another thing. Hey, what's going on, Jay Bishop? What's happening? What
Yeah,
up?
what up, Jay
What
Bishop?
up, Raj Sharp? What's good, baby? That's an old friend from back home.
Okay.
A lot of these people come, don't have anything. They make it. They got a skill. They can rap, make beats, whatever. And these labels, whoever throws a bunch of money at them, that seems a whole bunch, that seems tremendous, and they're taking it and they're getting pimped and they're making way more money than they're getting.
Right.
So, I
Hmm.
just, my opinion. So let's start it off. So my question to you guys is hip hop dead? That's the first question I'll ask. Is it dead?
I'm going to say no.
Same here.
You say it's
The
not dead?
the hip hop, the art form, and the culture as we know it, no, it's not dead.
Yes.
What's
Exactly.
on the radio, even though that's representing hip hop, but that's not hip hop. That's not hip hop as a whole.
Not at
Okay.
all.
So in order for an entire culture or community, however it is you want to say, in order for that to be dead, everything about it has to be dead, and it's not.
All right. Okay. I mean, you think in RTO, you feel that is not dead as well?
Yes, it is not dead. If hip hop was dead, we wouldn't be doing what we're doing now.
Real
Okay.
talk.
All right. Okay. Now I'll say this. Now, okay, as far as the radio obviously it reaches a lot of places. People that not necessarily would follow that type of music hear it. Um, a lot of that, the way that I don't use the mainstream radio. We as we all know, mainstream radio was a lot different 15, 20 years ago. That's where you hear the new, the new songs and the breaking the artists with anything that was creative. It's something that
Hmm.
was, it wasn't just, hey, let's make a hit record and get out of here. I just feel that I can go on SoundCloud, I can go on Bandcamp, and I can hear some of the most ridiculous tracks from some ridiculous creative person. And my first question is, wow, why can't this be on the radio? Why do I have to go all the way to SoundCloud or to Bandcamp to pick it up with a fine tooth comb? And I'm like, man, it doesn't I don't make any. I'm trying to make sense of it.
Well, I have a very simple response to that. I have a very simple answer, I should say.
Hmm.
The reason why it's not on the radio or on in the places that we would like it to be or appreciate it to be is because we don't run that particular medium.
Right.
It's that simple.
Okay.
Hmm.
And I'm not necessarily just speaking about black folks, but we as the hip hop culture don't run that media.
Absolutely. But it's funny, just as a company or a union would go on strike at a company that something they were getting, like as far as medical benefits or maybe or increase in pay. It's funny because without us and without the people on there that's mumbling and doing what they do, there isn't no money to be made. So when is somebody gonna actually have the courage and the balls and stop and stop being money based and say, hey, you know what? This is bull crap. My thing is creativity and stuff that sounds right should get the spotlight.
Right.
It is so lopsided. I just can't, I just can't believe that this is all, if I didn't have the internet and I had an AM FM radio, and if I didn't have any internet, and like I said, I would think, man, ain't nobody out here working, man. No one cares about hip hop anymore.
True.
I
I
think,
feel that.
okay, this is okay. Let me ask this question, and we know that hip hop, as we know it, isn't the same.
For real, Wallace.
What's going on, Wallace? How you doing, man?
What up?
Anybody?
Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me
Yeah,
okay?
No
Yeah.
doubt.
Okay, cool. I'm here, fellas. It's good to talk to y'all, man. I just stopped through to see what I can offer to the conversation.
Yeah, we're talking about, my question was, is hip hop dead? And the panel seems to think that it's not, but it's definitely not in the state where it needs to be. Okay, my question is, how did it get to this state? What can we blame this on? What are the factors that contributed to hip hop being in the state that it is right now?
Well,
The people that are in control of it, number one. Well, actually, no. Number two, the people who are in control of the labels and the media and stuff like that. Those are the second people to blame. The first first people to blame is us.
Elaborate, please.
Meaning, and we've had this conversation before, that the generation that we came up with, I'm just naming some names: the Kanes, the Queen Latifahs, the whoever, you know what I'm saying? The people that we came up and we appreciate. There was no blueprint that they left behind.
Right.
It's that simple. They did not, not to say that they didn't pull people along with them or whatever, but what about the future? As I was just saying before, you hot right now, but what about 2-3 years from now? So it's the same thing. We can apply that to the same to the conversation about the actual artists and the culture and all that kind of stuff.
All right.
Yeah, you were hot, early mid 90s to early 2000s or whatever, but
Right.
now what? What else did you contribute?
Right.
And that's the thing is the way a culture survives is by constantly passing down the fundamentals and all of that stuff.
Right.
And we have not done that. I don't know if it's necessarily the people in this room and the people that we roll with's fault, but that is what has happened.
right. And so I think social media definitely at first. I mean, right now it's out of control now. As far as it's great. I love having the option of going to an outlet to find something I might necessarily find just on the top,
Right.
on the icing. But at first people were downloading things for free and LimeWire and Kazaa and all that stuff, and I think personally it contributed to the state of hip hop is right now. But on the same side of that token, and I understand things evolve and things change. Man, you can go from in the '70s when disco came and how disco left, and then that '80s pop came in, and then the R&B, the neo soul. I understand how it evolves. I just don't think that this genre of music evolved the way it should have evolved.
Right.
I mean,
It's on us.
right?
You know what?
It's-
Since Gigahertz isn't here, I'm gonna take on the spirit of Gigahertz
all right.
and say that it's like I want to say like it's a greater plan. I mean,
Yeah.
it's something trying to just bring us down, because there's no reason for all the music to be what's popular and what everyone listens to be so stupid.
Right.
So
Exactly.
I think it's a greater plan to pretty much dumb us down and
Right.
just to keep
And
us
I
down.
I agree
But
with that.
Definitely.
I still say it goes back to us as the people who created this art form, who cultivated it.
Right.
It all goes back to us because it's our fault that we aren't passing things down or setting
Yeah.
certain standards in advance. It's also our fault that we allowed this to happen to us. It's that
Mhm.
simple.
If what gets me is I forgot who it was. They did not know who Biggie Smalls was. That for me was the last straw.
Rich, well, he knew who he was. He just didn't know the lyrics.
Not there's no somebody was it was some interview or something with one of these I don't know dreadhead dudes. He didn't know who Biggie Smalls was, man. I don't think it was I don't think he was a rapper. He might have been just I think they were doing like street comment street beat
Oh,
stuff,
okay.
and
Yeah.
they didn't know who Biggie Smalls was. A couple guys in my head working with me before didn't know who Biggie Smalls was. Mobb Deep, stuff like that. I'm like, okay, I understand Mobb Deep, but Biggie Smalls, everyone knows Tupac. Tupac, everyone will always know Tupac, but
Like, if
you
you
don't
know
have-
who Pac is, you
Yeah,
should know
that's-
who
that's-
Big
that's-
is too.
Yeah,
Right.
that's
They
pretty
go hand in
difficult.
hand.
That's
Right.
pretty difficult.
crazy. So can and to as far as what Digger Hurts, the dumb downness, yes, that is exactly what I think is going on with the womanizing, the drug promotion. Before we had the crack era, now it's the pill in the syrup era now, and
Yeah.
they're glorifying that. And if
The dumbass era.
yeah, like they're glorifying that, man. It's gotta be more to this craft now, man. And I think that we have, the internet is the internet now. There's people out there that get put on without a record deal or just internet promotion and stuff. And I think more of that, this is common sense to me. If you hear something dope and people around you say it's dope, and 10 people listen to the same thing you listen to and they say it's dope, doesn't that warrant that to be
Nope.
Yeah.
announced to the world?
Well, here's the thing, though. You're still talking about a very small percentage of the population. Yeah. Even if you got 1,000 people spread out through however many areas in the world, that's still a percentage of a percentage
Very
of
small. You're
people
right.
who actually listen to the music, consume it, buy it, whatever.
Right.
So again, that is I mean, I get it. I definitely feel you. I agree, but it's not on that broad scale.
Yep. I understand.
But I just kind of rewinded it a little bit. Throughout the course of, modern American history, whenever an art form has been commercialized, its
Good word.
most mundane form has always been what's been made popular.
Right.
And what's always been taken advantage of. I give you a perfect example. If I make music, the type of music I'm making now, I get a great deal of joy out of it because it's the type of music I like.
Mhm.
But as soon as I start working with different artists who are following trends and things like that, it doesn't feel the same to me. You know, that's why I'm so picky and choosy about who I want to work with, because I'm more into the experimental side, the alternative side of hip hop, what's considered alternative now versus what is so mainstream. And I have the ability to make mainstream hip hop relatively easy.
Right.
So is there a dumbing down? Is there a purposeful dumbing down in it on the behalf of the mainstream or on behalf of the power structure? I mean, to a degree, it definitely has its benefits. It definitely has the ability to make people focus less on what the real issues are. But when you look at, you know, when you know, at one time when Bob Dylan was singing about war and this, that, and the third, he had a certain crowd that attached himself to him, but everybody else was just listening to a lot of the Motown stuff. You know, a lot of the, you know what I'm saying, that stuff that wasn't necessarily focusing on social issues and things of that nature. Right. And I think that it's somewhat.
I wouldn't say that, because that particular music that you just named, like soul music of the '60s, it was of that element. It was
later on. Yes, that's true. Like the '68, '69, '70, of course. You know what I'm saying? But I guess I just look at as far as hip hop goes. First of all, it was a culture that doesn't cultivate artists to be able to be around long term, because it's such a hit based process. You know, and it kind of chews up young rappers and spits them out. You know, you got I mean, look at Bobby Shmurda, look at Kodak Black. I guess he just caught a case. He just got 3 years. He was just on the come up. So
yeah, but look who you're naming though. You're naming the current generation.
Exactly. And I mean, we can't deny the fact. I mean, truth be told, I think that modern day hip hop and rap is not even what we consider to be rap. It's not. It's a completely different entity than what we like and what we respect. Let's just be honest. It doesn't hold true to any of the tones that we grew up with, or any other. Actually, a lot of the music that we make is completely different than what's being heard on the radio, and completely different than what's being sold. And I think subconsciously, we kind of do what we do with this subconscious mindset. Like, I know that I can't get this to somebody and I'm going to have a platinum record.
Right.
But we just bear honor to those old rules. So
we do what we do because we love it. We don't do it to get paid.
Right.
But in the same token, what's funny is those artists that seem to have the most longevity, the artists that seem to have right now the upper hand, are artists who kind of follow those rules. Look at Kendrick Lamar. Look at Big Sean. Not Big Sean, but look at J. Cole. You know, these are artists that are given the credit to that older, that more standardized hip hop of the '90s and the golden age and stuff. Whereas, you know, the Lil Uzi Vert. I downloaded Lil Uzi Vert mixtape today just because I wanted to listen with an objective mind to what is popular right now. And I haven't listened to it yet, but I hesitate to be honest. When we were doing the Pick and Roll podcast and we were reviewing albums, you know, I would be somewhat hesitant to just instantly just dismiss everything, because, you know, this is a business that's based around relationships. But the truth of the matter is, Future makes a different type of music than I attach myself to.
True.
Right.
And that's okay. You know?
Hey, Wallace. So you know the Phalanx, right?
Yeah.
Those are my people. You know, we still know each other and kick it to this day. You know a hook, right?
Yeah.
I was for many years I was the closest to Hook. And I went to his house a couple of different times, and you know, for so many years he ran a studio out of his house, and we would talk that he would talk about all the people that came through that he absolutely hated what they were doing, and how much it was draining him, you know, emotionally and physically and mentally to listen to all this garbage. But that's how he paid the bills, and I'm like, dog, I cannot do that, and that's why I won't do that. I have the same equipment that he does.
Right.
I can't do it, man. I cannot do it. I would physically be ill listening to all this garbage, man. And I'm pretty sure the majority of the people that would, come over to my house or whatever to get a studio session would be on the stupid stuff. I can't do it.
But truth be told, if we're being honest with ourselves, that always existed to the quote unquote hip hop purist. You know what I'm saying? Throughout the generation, throughout the 90s, throughout, back in the day, we used to shit on Candyman for knocking the boots and MC Hammer because they were on the fringes. They had elements of what we love, but they were on the fringes. You know what I'm saying?
But they weren't whack. They were just different.
Nah, they was whack. Some of them was whack.
Come on.
Let's keep it 100.
Candyman was not whack.
Candyman was buttocks.
He was not whack, dog.
I can't even say that MC Hammer was whack either.
Right. Hammer wasn't whack. It was just something totally different. Versus, and we've had this conversation, a couple times before. Back then, there was more diversity. And there's a reason why there was tours with MC Hammer and Run DMC and LL and NWA. All these cats doing tours together. Listen to what I just named. Listen to who I just named. Versus today, you put a tour together, it's all going to be the same garbage. You turn on the radio, it's like you listening to the same damn song.
True. That's true.
Way
like back then, like back then, you had Summer Jam. It'd be Hammer. It'd be Latifah. It'd be I can't think of the name for Jersey. Hip Hop Parade. Naughty by Nature.
Naughty by Nature.
It'd be a bunch of different artists, But at the same time, you had, like you say, you had different styles, but
they
all be on the same tick. Yeah. Like nowadays, you have Lil Uzi Vert, or you have Kodiak Black, or
everybody that was on that freshman. Yeah.
Double XL.
Yeah.
And for the most part, they may not be exactly like some artists may not be fully trapped, but they would be pretty much saying the same stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, only one and he ain't even in that group, but I would say Chance the Rapper would be someone who wouldn't be. I don't think he spits the same stuff, but he's not even in that group, So
yeah, I hear what you're saying. I feel as though everything is what we choose to accept. And I mean, I know in the spirit of Digger Hurts not being here, I do have this theory that trap music, which is going on right now, it's about 13th year of extreme popularity. Let's keep it 100. But trap music to me is more, at this point, is more akin to EDM than it is to hip hop. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think trap music, the tempo and the sound and that bass drum, I think it tapped into the reptilian brain or something. Because there's something about it. It's something about it that just people just go crazy for. Yep. And it ain't going nowhere.
It's that bass, man. Everyone love that bass.
To me, I go back to like 92. I remember my brother had a white LeSabre. And my brother bought DJ Magic Mike. Bass is the name of the game.
Drop that bass.
Right. To me, the music is nothing more than Magic Mike beats. Nowadays, it's Magic Mike beats with elements of like atmospheric Enya or whatever her name is.
I can't say that.
This atmospheric music with this Magic Mike bass and a lot of hats.
I can't say that. Because once again, back then it was just it was diversity. It was music that was specific to a particular region.
Yes,
flat out.
Talk to me.
The Florida bass movement. You had the West Coast kind of gangster rap, street hop, or whatever you want to call it. You had the East Coast boom bap and conscious. And, you had a couple of things popping off in the Midwest. You had the Southern movement, like with Scarface and, the Ghetto Boys, all these different people. I still think that was, would I say Magic Mike was hip-hop? Probably not. but
Right.
it was still respected and accepted by people who did real hip hop.
It still used break beats. It still was sampling. It
Right.
still was all that, I
Right.
can feel you. But I would argue with you that there is more variety now than there was then because we have so much access
I
to
can't
what.
say
I
that.
can't say that.
I
I mean,
can't say
you don't
that,
think so?
dog.
No, I
think
know.
so?
I see.
Nah,
No,
man,
hey,
wait,
Mr. Wallace,
hear
I
what I'm
see
saying.
what you're saying.
Hear what I'm
I see
saying
what you're
though.
saying.
You just have to know in today's world that the selling mechanism of music is different than it was back then. We have access to everything.
Yeah.
I don't have to listen to trap music, but commercially there is not as much variety. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I was about to say.
I mean, because I can listen exclusively to Odyssey, Mellow Music Group, Apollo Brown, I haven't even heard, bruh, I'm telling you, I was the dude all through high school, all through college that had heard everything. I had drawers of tapes. And now, like, I just don't keep up with that stuff. I just don't
Same
keep
here.
up with, because it's all the same thing. I don't keep up with it. But as far as whatever it is, exactly that it is that you want, you can find it. It's out here because we all have access to put music out now.
Right, and that's and going back to one of the original points that Widebody made is it still comes back to us. You can have a choice. You have the choice to sit there and listen to everything that MTV, BET, and World Star and on the radio, whatever the radio stations are playing, or since we have the internet, since you have satellite radio and all these other avenues now, you can go anywhere you want and find anything you're looking for. And it's, to me, wondering why a certain person is in chart topping and platinum and all that kind of stuff is taken away from what they're really doing, if they're really that dope. I'd rather just focus on, damn, they dropped a dope ass mixtape or whatever the situation may be, and promote it to whoever I'm around. Like, yo, you need to check this out. Me and you, we have like minds. You need to go check this out.
Mm-hmm.
Flat up.
Okay.
And when they come to town, try to go see them. And they got merch, they got new products or whatever. Support it. It's for me, it's that simple. Maybe because my background as an artist and as a promoter or whatever, for me, it's that simple. Right. I'm not worried about that because there's people that we talking about right now who are on the charts that can't pay bills because they're trying to recoup money, but there's people who never see the radio who's doing damn good.
Right.
They are touring and selling units and products and all of that stuff. What's up?
It's just the mainstream aspect of it, the Grammys and what. I understand that it's a lot more than just the mainstream, but that's at the end of the year when people go to the Grammys and this is what mainstream sees, and wow, this is the kind of music that this is what it comes to.
You know what? Hold on. Let me speak on it. On Wallace's point, I agree that there's definitely more variety out now than it was then, because there's all kind of different genres of hip hop going on now. Right. Radio wise, it's all the same thing. But what I want to say was it goes back to like what we were talking about before, and I was saying that it's kind of a good thing that hip hop is underground. Mm-hmm. Real hip hop is underground, because for those who want to seek it out, they're actually going to seek it and appreciate for what they find.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Exactly. And to answer your point real quick, Widebody, what's more important? Being able to pay your bills and have a decent, sustainable lifestyle, or getting nominated where it doesn't do much for you?
I disagree with that.
Not too. In this day and age, I don't care about those award shows. I haven't in quite some time.
But look at the music. It's unfortunate to say this, but with the exception of Macklemore winning a couple years ago, which was a Grammy win and nomination that was solely based on social impact, look at the records that are being nominated for Album of the Year. I mean, single of the year is a matter of hotness in a lot of situations. But you got To Pimp a Butterfly. You got Good Kid, Mad City, which should have won, but didn't win because Macklemore's album had more social impact because it dealt with the homosexual situation. It dealt with this. Black Messiah last year. You know what I'm saying? Raphael Sadiq, Instant Vintage a few years ago. So the critics, I think that the critics are looking for, white liberal critics are looking for music that's thought-provoking, that's socially relevant, that's clearing new ground, that's technically very well done. This music that we listening to on the radio ain't winning no damn Grammys. Cut It by OT Genesis is hot in the club, but that's the extent of it. Now in terms of creating a sustainable life, once you get a Grammy nomination, nobody can ever take that away from you. It's up to you to monetize that. It definitely is up to you to monetize that. But I would rather be a Grammy nominated engineer than a Grammy nominated artist. Because I could work forever. You know what I'm saying? And see, we also got to clarify, I mean, the reality of the business is, as far as what I know, my knowledge is extremely limited, but you know, if you have a sustainable life, I mean, no, everybody ain't gonna be millionaires.
No.
But if I have the ability to charge a certain amount for a feature, to charge a certain amount for consultant fees, I'm able to. I have publishing that I've taken care of and I've been able to maintain. I mean, you can do okay, you know, but a lot of times it's not. You know, there never has been a widespread effort or an effective effort at really teaching black people about how to capitalize on the music industry. Never.
Yeah, that comes back to us.
Wow.
Never.
Hey, let me real quick. 1996 rap album of the year. The nominees were Tupac, Me Against the World, Bone Thugs and Harmony, 1999 Eternal, 1999 Eternal, Old Dirty Bastard, Return to the 36 Chambers, and Skilo, I Wish. And obviously Naughty by Nature got that with Poverty's Paradise, which I don't know where that came from. I wasn't much.
But all good.
It had social relevance. It was a decent record.
Yeah.
It was a decent record.
Wow.
See, me, I think that being a critic, I think that being able to see music through the lens of the broader context gives you the appreciation that you need. And a lot of times our people don't look at it that way. They like, the shit get me hyped.
Yeah.
You know, it get me geeked. It be beating in the trunk. You know, that's it. I went back and I listened to Black Messiah a week ago. And that record is absolutely fantastic. That is a fantastic record from a technical standpoint, from a content standpoint. That's the type of record that I would like to make. You know. And everybody just cannot do that.
What do you look for? Okay, what do you look for when you're listening to something like that? What is the first thing that pops out?
Well, you know, for him it's gonna be the mix.
Okay.
All day. But I think from a content, even to me, from a content perspective, are you effective at conveying your message to the audience that you're trying to talk to? That's why I can appreciate Young Jeezy's first album. I can appreciate
Snowman.
Yeah. I can appreciate Rick Ross's first album. I can appreciate Eardrummer's first album. I can appreciate it because it's effective at meeting their demographic where they are and being able to push the genre to the next level.
Okay.
So I'll also like projects that tell a story, not necessarily a pure narrative like Good Kid, Mad City was, but you're able to perfectly capture that one person or that group of people's mindset in this huge country of 300 million people. You're able to capture that in an hour-long experience for somebody to go into your world. That's what I like. That's what I like. America's Most Wanted. I like my favorite albums all time is like America's Most Wanted.
Joint.
Death Certificate. These albums, and then from a technical standpoint, I like albums that are able to bring a whole bunch of stuff to the table.
Mm-hmm.
They're heavy and they deserve a certain level of critique and criticism. Why did I like Only Built for Cuban Links so much? I like the production on it. Obviously, it wasn't the most well mixed album in the world,
Right.
not even knowing what I'm knowing now. But I had to continuously. I listen to Cuban Links now, and I still find things that I didn't know what it meant back then. And I'm like, oh, that's what he was saying.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
That's
You
what
know
I'm
what I'm saying?
talking.
So
Mm-hmm.
having that heaviness to it, having some level of, you know, that heaviness. But then from a purely musical standpoint, there has to be a level of enjoyment. You know what I'm saying? I enjoyed To Pimp a Butterfly. I enjoyed that musically. You know, it wasn't just this is what you should do and this is why I'm a butterfly and this is I'm a caterpillar now. But it was musically, I enjoyed it, and it captured everything that I love about hip hop music.
Well,
You know what did that for me was Outkast, Aquemini.
Yeah.
That was nasty.
Yeah. Yes, it was.
I remember
So
riding around, man, and you know what I'm saying, me and my homies, you know, we riding around, we smoking, and we put that album on blast, man, and it just take you to another world.
Yeah.
You never lie.
But see, this is what I was going to add to what Wallace just said and what Basement, you know, he just attached to it. Listen to all those titles that y'all named. These are projects that were in production for at least a couple of years. A lot of time, effort, energy, thought went into those joints.
right.
Versus the music today, most of it.
Right.
I know you got your J. Cole. I know you got and other examples that Wallace named. But that's the thing that lacks from today's music is people actually giving a damn.
The weight is
Yeah.
Yeah.
no
Yeah, we were
substance.
just speaking about that the other day too.
Don't worry.
It's
Yeah,
process.
you know, like for exactly. I know for me, like I love conceptual albums. To Pimp a Butterfly, the other one, Good Kid, Mad City. I like stuff like that. You know, first it has to have a message, some type of message. Like when I listen to the Snowman, I had bump in the car, so I didn't really listen to it for that if it had a message. The beats knocked for me for that one, so I didn't really hear that one too much.
Snowman can get it for real.
But you know, like that, America's Most Wanted, Death Certificate, definitely. I liked I don't know if y'all really listened to it, but I like the Death of Adam too.
Huh.
Yep. 88 Keys.
Yeah. I loved how he did that album.
I gotta check
Yeah.
that out.
Like,
Yeah, for real.
yeah,
These and not
the
necessarily.
these are real projects.
Yeah, you know, and it doesn't have to necessarily be a concept album with you know an all-encompassing theme and a narrative and all that kind of stuff. It just needs to be dope, something that people actually put their time into, man.
Right.
And nowadays you get a mixtape, even though it's released commercially, you get a freaking mixtape or you get an album worth of potential singles. Nobody really does it like that. Not on a constant level.
A lot of these young dudes today, they make albums, you know, they make their albums trying to get that one single out. They're not making cohesive albums, you know what I'm saying? They're not trying to take you somewhere. They just, you know, it's like they're trying to make that quick dollar.
They're just trying to get out right quick.
ATM machine, like I was saying, ATM machine.
Cash out.
Hey,
Instead of microwave beats, we can call them microwave mixtapes.
by the way, thank you for joining the podcast, Basement Chemistry, man. Good to have you on, man.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Finally
What
got
up?
the podcast.
Got BC and we got Dixie.
What's going on, Dixie? Hey, where you from, Basement
Oh man, I
Chemistry?
can't call it. What's
Richmond,
happening?
Virginia.
Okay, that's what's up. What's going on, Dixie? Good to hear y'all, man. Good to have y'all on, man. You know,
No doubt, man. Thanks for the invite.
no problem. And
Yeah.
just to
For
catch
shizzle.
you up, we were talking about, my question was, is hip hop dead? And the panel said no. And
I don't think so. I don't think so. You just gotta find it.
You gotta know where to go get it, man.
You gotta find it,
Exactly.
and that's how I like it. I prefer it that way. That way you don't have to worry about corporate America taking it over again.
exactly. I understand that too. You know, once and if you commercialize something, man, you take, you know, to me, it takes the realness of it away. It just doesn't seem right, man, when you commercialize something, and you can definitely tell that. But
I'm like,
Right.
it's just like the same way we dig. We go and dig and find some dope ass record. We go batshit crazy. Oh man, I just found this. I do the same thing if I find a dope ass album that's out right now. There's some cat that I ain't never heard about, like I did the cat Jordan Lucas.
Right.
He does some trap stuff, but he does some other stuff as well that I think is hella dope.
I can appreciate that.
Yeah.
I just, you know what? I'm a variety guy, and I'll think back to, like, let's say like back in where about 95, 96, 97, that era. And I'm not a stuck in the 90s guy. I understand that everything evolves, but you know, you can't tell me there was not. And I understand what Wallace is saying, but mainstream wise, you could hear the tribes, the ODBs.
Right.
Yeah.
Everybody had a lane, everybody prospered in it, and then they would go on a big ass tour, make a whole bunch of money.
Exactly.
People were rocking, you know.
My thing is, man, a lot of this stuff that you hear on the radio nowadays, you know, going back to, like, you know, any time between 93 to maybe about 98. These guys wouldn't have been on the radio. You know what I'm saying?
Hell no.
Hell no.
You know, they would have got laughed out of the radio station trying to take a CD of that bullshit up to the radio during that time period.
For real.
Right.
Real talk.
You was a straight up sucker MC.
I don't know if y'all I read an article a while back about this meeting that was held with all the who's who in hip hop at that particular time, and it was mandated that hip hop be taken in a certain direction to make people think a certain way. I don't know if y'all familiar with that.
Yeah.
article.
Yeah.
We scrape against it every once in a while. Go ahead, elaborate, brother.
I mean, it was like they wanted, you know, hip hop was too powerful. They, you know, the powers, you know, the industry people, you know, the people on top. They saw the power of hip hop, you know, with groups like Public Enemy, you know what I'm saying, Wu-Tang Clan. They saw the power, and you know, the power that the music has on the people.
Yep.
So knowing that, you know, it was stated, okay, we want everybody's music to sound like this. We want y'all to talk about this. We want y'all to talk about that.
Right.
If you don't really, you know, with the exception of Kendrick Lamar today, J. Cole, you don't hear a lot of positive stuff on the radio.
Yeah.
Nowadays. You know,
That's what we were saying about the old Dumb It Down.
And
But do we want it?
The dumbing down is going so far that, you know, if you try to put out something like that, most of the time people tell you they don't want to hear it.
Exactly. They don't want to hear it.
We don't. And Wallace, you know what? But that, you know, my thing with that is, you know, little kids are listening to this shit on the radio, man. And I'm not saying that I don't think the radio should dictate how a kid grows up. And sometimes the parents miss the bus on that, man. But that's just how they're portraying us to be, man. If you looking on and from the outside and you see this, all we talking about, oh, this all these guys do is talking about syrup and womanizing and all that shit, man. This is my thing on it. It just portrays us in a bad light, man. And they glorify it.
But I think that when you're talking about a people that represent 14% of the population, a group of people that have been traditionally underserved, disrespected, so on and so forth, there's no room for variety. There's no room. I mean, would you criticize Brad Pitt because he was in a movie killing people? You know what I'm saying? Versus, you know, him being a humanitarian and doing a movie about the Pope. It doesn't work that way. You know, so there's always been this negative stigma and negative cloud above hip hop where people have to pick and choose whether or not to accept it. I mean, before it was what it is now, I mean, don't tell me you forget about the whole NWA, Ghetto Boys, Ice-T, Cop Killer. That's all that feeling about hip hop has always been there.
I understand that. I was just talking to my sister about it. Hey, Dixie, go ahead, man.
Yeah, I just wanted to say a couple other factors that got us to where we are now, one that no one ever talks about, is the death of the in-house producer. You remember back when every group or every crew had their own producer? Now everybody runs to whoever's hot at the time. Yeah. So everybody sounds the same.
Yeah.
True.
You know, I remember when E40 sounded, Studio Tone, that was their sound. RZA and Wu-Tang, that was their sound.
Talk about it.
Beats by the Pound, No Limit, that was their sound. You know, there was none of this. Okay, I'm gonna go fly over to New York and work with RZA now because he hot. Like that wasn't going on back then. And I think that contributes to the music all sounding the same as well.
So here we go.
Good point.
So here we go. We have Nas to blame for that.
Oh yeah, he was all over the place. Ice Cube too.
Well,
Ice Cube.
no, I can't say Ice Cube. I can't say that because Cube was with NWA, which was all Dre and Yella and whoever else in that camp. Then he went and got the Bomb Squad. He did, was it 3 albums with them? And then later changed. But he still, even when he went to Crazy Tunes and all these other cats, it was still one crew. Nas, Illmatic was the first album that actually branched out, and he got Premier, and he got Large Pro, and he got Pete Rock and Q-Tip.
Yeah.
You know, I'm talking about on Illmatic. That was the first instance of that.
All right, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so what about this? If you're like, cause Nas wasn't really part of a crew, you know, he had his little crew, but he was still his own person. So if you're your own person, is it cool? I think it's all right to have multiple producers on your album. I mean,
oh yeah, it is.
As long as it's East Coast, as long as it's East Coast, that's why I have a problem with it. But Wild Body had the perfect example, Ice Cube.
Yeah,
you know, NWA had a certain sound. It was Laylaw and Dr. Dre. Okay,
right.
Then he goes to the East Coast and get Bomb Squad, which came out and they turned out some great albums. Don't get me wrong, but it kind of set the groundwork for what we have now.
Right.
You know, all this mashup.
But here's the thing though, it's still in that one album. It was one group. It was one core production family.
Yeah.
True.
So it still didn't happen like that until 93, 94 when Illmatic came out, where it was multiple sounds and it was multiple people. That was still that tipping point. It was the point when that actually happened.
I think with Illmatic, see back then, you know, around the time when Illmatic was made, people actually went to the studio together and vibe. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
Now you got people, they just, you know,
And
email.
Even with those multiple producers, it didn't veer too far from boom bap.
No, not at all. It was. I mean, obviously, it's a freaking album.
Right. It didn't sound like Lemonhead down there with 2 Live Crew on the record. You know, so it was completely different.
You know, it's not like the situation was Snoop.
Go ahead, man.
Go ahead,
RTO.
No, I'll say it's not like the situation. I will say it's not like the situation with Snoop when he left
Death Row
and went to No Limit. Cause now even though it was still one group, it was a totally different sound coming from Snoop.
Yeah, that first album did not sound right to me, to my ears.
The Last Meal was the best thing he did on the moment.
Because he, for what I read, he told P, look, you brought me here to be me. Let me be me. Let me go home and get some West Coast producers.
Exactly.
And let me be me.
Yeah.
He let him do it.
True. But I would dare to argue that the death of it was also, that kind of ushered in how the producer took precedence over the MC too.
True.
You know, because that
DJ as well.
That the DJ just completely went by the wayside. But you think about when you think about the early 2000s, you don't really think about a lot of artists. You think about producers having it a lot, and all of the different people who filtered through these producers, the Neptunes and Timbaland and Swizz and you know what I'm saying, Dre, and I mean, because they had a slew of artists who came through, a slew of people who made singles. And it's memorable to us because we're nostalgic, but really, you had to go through them. They were the channel into the radio. They were the channel into the industry.
Yeah, you ain't lying there.
You had to have a Neptune's joint to get on the radio.
Yeah, especially with Timbaland, because Timbo had, you think of all the people that was around Timbo's camp, and if I think of Aaliyah, I think of Timbaland. If I think of Missy Elliott, I think of Timbaland. Just like Magoo and Genuine and everybody.
Timbaland and Magoo.
Like all them names were even Justin Timberlake.
So for me, I don't think that I've been able to garner the level of success that I probably should or could have maybe up to this point in my life, because I prefer to be a project manager. I prefer to do your whole project.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Not necessarily just me making all the beats, but I'm literally pushing the buttons and executing it. You know what I'm saying? Mixing different joints and making sure it all fits and putting in skits and doing all that. I like having that relationship with an artist rather than me just emailing out joints. People emailing me they acapellas and you know what I'm saying? Unless it's for something that I'm working on, but in terms of me just selling beats and just leaving them and just watching it go off into the distance, you know, and me just hoping that they do the track right. You know what I'm saying? Because this is it's important to me. You know what I mean?
Right. I definitely understand that, Wallace. You know, that's what we miss most about back in the day. Like the albums were cohesive. And you know, that's why you listen to them now, you get that nostalgia feeling. You know, you don't get that anymore.
And that's
another thing that.
Go ahead.
Also, another thing that contributes to it is just people's attention spans are so short now.
Yepper.
You know, even when listening to beats, like some of the beats that were dope to us back then wouldn't cut it today just because they keep people today will find that so simple. You know.
It's funny you say that too. I just went through that the other day. I was listening to the Shaka album. I was listening to the Shaka album.
Did you mute his vocals?
Hey, I wish I could. I tuned them out in my head mentally.
I understand that Charges to the Game album has some of the best beats on there, but his vocals, if you could just mute those vocals, that would be something to listen to.
I listened to that one, and then I listened to what's the other Made Man? I think the name of it was. It came out after Charger or before. I can't remember.
It came out after.
Okay, see now it was a song that came on before the song Mr. 99, and I remember back then I used to love that beat, and then I listened to it. I mean, it's still cool now, but I just remember that whole album, and I used to like the beats on it. But now I go back and listen. Now I make beats, and you know, it's just like it's just it ain't doing it for me no more. Like it used to.
It's just a couple of them. Tasha Rasay to thank for that.
For real though.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. Ever since I've joined CMA, I listen to beats completely different now. If I don't hear it change up, I'm turning it off.
Well, it goes for me. It goes back to what was that 96, I think it was, when that the West Up came out, front, back, side to side. They sampled the George Duke joint. Dog, that instrumental was like 4 minutes of just that loop.
Yeah.
I'm like, come on, man. Nothing else happened.
The emphasis on production being so heavy, you as a producer have to provide that variety now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. Whereas back in the day, the vocalist was able to provide that variety.
Yeah.
Well, this is one point that I was getting ready to bring up, and then, you know, and Dixie has stepped in with some really good points. I think it needs to go back to straight up community, because that's the reason, you know, as I was just saying, as far as there's no one producer for one album or one camp for one album, that kind of thing anymore. There's no, you know, getting with people and getting into the studio at the same time. There's none of that anymore. And I think that's a whole disconnect. Yeah, the internet is great, but that's the disconnect that it gives. And it needs to get back to a community type setting within the culture and the genre, to where, you know, if it's comfortable enough, yo, I'm going to fly you out here, or you going to fly, or I'm going to fly out there with you, and we're going to pull this album together, straight up. It needs to be more of that, dude.
I'm like, even if you couldn't, I'm like, oh, go ahead.
I would say, to his point, I read Jermaine Dupri's Young, Rich, and Dangerous autobiography, and one thing he said was, you know, when he was hired as a producer and people were calling him, he said he never sent beats to anybody. Like, they had to fly down to Atlanta. It didn't matter who it was. Jay-Z, LL, didn't matter. They had to fly to Atlanta and hang out for a weekend. He said he would not even start on music until like a day or two into the gathering or what have you. Mm-hmm. He said, you know, LL was pressuring him, like, come on, man, just give me the beat so I can go back home. He's like, no, man, we're finna hang out. We're gonna go to the strip club. LL was adamant about not going to the strip club. And that's how the song came about. I Can't Control Myself. You know, it was born out of that conversation.
There you go.
You know.
None of that no more, man.
Yeah. All cats do nowadays is go type in what's the name type beat in YouTube and create a whole damn album off that.
Right.
I'm gonna go back to what Wallace was talking about. Like, I have a guy.
No, don't do that.
Got my job. Hey man, Wallace said, "Oh, hey, I had a guy. At my job, his son is a real good lyricist. I mean, he's a trap guy. You know, I wanted to try to, you know, here I am, Mister. Let me fix this guy. So more to say. So he comes over, and I used to be excited, but I stopped getting excited because he comes over with all these trap beats from YouTube, and I'm like, man, looking at the time, like, shit, time to go yet, man. I gotta get to work. Like, I can't stomach it, man. Like, even if I could make trap music, I probably wouldn't enjoy it, man. Cause you know what I'm saying? Like, that's a job to me. You know what I'm saying?
Cause it's not where you are. It's not where you are in your life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You feel an obligation to do something different than that.
Right. I can't do it. That's why I stopped DJing, because I was, you know, I'd be at these parties, man, and like, man, I know a DJ has to be biased, man, and you know, I always thought what I liked, everyone else would like, man. When that stopped happening, it was time for me to go. You know, that social media, man, I couldn't do it, man.
For me, trap music has become.
Hey, hold on. Shout out to Digger Hurts in the chat.
Oh,
What up, Digger?
What up, Hearts?
I was gonna say, trap music is so cookie cutter. I feel like I'm cheating when I make a trap beat.
You and me both. It's like I really do feel like it's cheating. It's just too easy. It's like cats come at me like, man, why don't you try to do this like that? That's what's hot right now. I'm like, I mean, I could do it. It's extremely easy, but you know, I'm gonna challenge myself when it comes to making music, so I can further grow myself.
Yeah, I like chords.
Okay. Done deal. Everybody stop talking.
I was just reading the chat.
I got it. I just sent Young Hurst the invite.
But to the bigger point, I kind of like where it is now. You know, go find some dope artists, you know, and I appreciate it more when I found them like that.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly what I'm saying. Like, thank God for bringing together. I swear my memory is so jacked, but oh boy, Afro. Thank you for bringing Afro's parents together and creating Afro.
Yeah.
And his parents putting Afro up on all the old school stuff, because he out here killing it.
Yeah, dudes. But again, it goes back to us. It does. Every point that I'm going to enforce, it always comes back to us. It comes back to the homes. It comes back to your upbringing. It comes back to your neighborhoods. It comes back to the culture. It comes back to your race. It all comes back to us. It's that simple, dude. We are in control of that. You be in control of what you actually have control of, and the stuff that you're not in control of, you either don't worry about it or you will eventually change it through the stuff that you do have control of. It's that simple. It's that simple.
Right.
I would have loved to hear what Miles had to say, where he just up and bounced.
Oh man, Miles is in Florida, bro. Damn,
Wallace country.
Wallace over there in the hot box. You
No.
You lighting up, bro?
He got the non-chopper jumping.
I just saw a bunch of smoke.
Incense only, brother. Incense only.
I'm like, wait a minute.
Oh no, I see the yellow stick, so that must be some non-chopper.
No, I don't know what it is. It's old, but I burned something yesterday when I was working on music, and it kind of worked. So
yeah,
no, I don't. You know, I can't mess around. So you know.
Yeah, I was thinking about having some incense jumping off in here. We got a little Glade plug-in things, but I want to get some straight up incense.
Hey man,
it's been a minute for me. Like,
but
I already told you, I come from the background of,
joints,
exactly, yeah.
So
I say I come from the background of incense, so Yeah.
No. Yeah.
Man, what the hell is Wide Body doing? He totally abandoned his broadcast.
What?
He over there
I
making.
think he's setting up some stuff.
He over there making beats.
So tell me about. I mean, I know that this is a different show, but since we all sitting here together, I'm curious about what kind of things you do. Like, what is your like? Do you have like a
1, 2.
routine?
You real low, Wide Body. Go ahead.
I'm having problems with my other laptop. The mic's not working.
Ah.
And
Bear
this
with
one
me.
is sounding crackly right now.
Yeah, your audio
Oh,
sounds
Lord.
pretty distorted at the moment.
Yeah, the other one was working fine.
Go ahead without me. I'll get back on.
Okay. What you saying,
I
Wide?
was saying like, what is your like your routine? Like when it's involving making music, do you have like a routine that you go through, or? Because to me, I'm gonna be honest with you, this may sound crazy, and I don't want to get too far off topic, but to me, when you chopping samples, it's like you conjuring spirits. You know what I'm saying? Like, because somebody, you know, you're listening to a physical copy of a bunch of people's spirits working together. So when you chopping it, it's almost like a spiritual thing to me.
I like that.
So I like to
I do
burn.
too.
I be burning candles and burning incense and all that kind of stuff because I really like to think deep about what I'm making.
For sure.
Oh, sound like witchcraft to me.
I like to welcome to the program our man Gigahertz.
What up, Big Earth?
Man, what's good?
I'm saying,
up?
bro,
Hertz?
you been MIA, man. So I'm assuming I'm assuming
I just pulled in, bro, about 30 minutes ago from Florida.
man, you shouldn't even be talking to us. You should be laying back.
Dude, I am. I was watching Power for a minute, but I'm gonna watch that shit when I'm eating cereal in the morning. Nah, man, I got me and my aunt and my family we got in about roughly about 30 minutes ago. Well, about 45 minutes ago, man. So I'm just chilling, man. I saw the Wide Body had went live, and I said, man, well, I'm sitting up here not doing nothing. I might as well just ask for the link. So here I am.
Did you get some records?
Dude, did I get some records? Oh my God!
Tell us about it.
I didn't even go. Hey, I didn't even go to the spot that me and Fat Mom was talking about. Cause I was everywhere this weekend, like everywhere. I have a free moment until, you know, well, I had a free moment the day before all the festivities started, but me and my wife spotted a thrift store. My wife likes to go to the thrift store, so she was. I was in the car waiting, like I'm not going in there. So she said, "Hey, do you have like a Diana Ross record?" No, she asked me that like somebody. I was like, "Who?" I said, "Wait a minute, that's in there." She's like, "Yeah, it's a couple of records in here." And I'm trying to see what kind of white artists you like. I'm like, "Wait a minute." I said, "It's records in there." She's like, "Yeah." I said, "Hold up, I'll be right in there in just a second." And man, I went in there, man. I got my face blacked out, but I'm gonna show y'all cats what I end up copying, man. Shit's ridiculous, dude.
Now, you hear me talk about thrift stores all the time. Why did you not just jump on that? Why did that not instantly click? Like, I need to walk in here and look at some records.
I don't know, cause my thrift store, I have my moments with them. This is what I end up getting. I got this double album Ty Rundgren joint. I got this Crosby, Stills and Nash and Young joint. I always know about Crosby, Stills and Nash.
Right.
But this other cat is
Neil Young?
Yeah, Neil Young, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
Damn. Anyway, okay. This Elton John, I don't know how good y'all can fit these joints. I'm just going to pan down a little bit.
Yeah, that's some old Elton John
right there. Right. This Roberta Flack joint, but I thought I had this, but I didn't have it. So that's what she called it, the truck of accident. I have that Roberta Flack, and that's when I went there and got that one. This Jimmy Ruffin joint, singing the top 10, and one of my favorite like rock groups, Bread. This is one record I didn't have there.
Yeah, so I like Bread.
The Bread joint. I found some stack shit. I found the Sam and Dave joint.
That's the 1, 2.
We can hear you, bro.
I know some heat in that joint. I know some heat on that one. And the last, I got a Doobie Brothers joint. I don't know what's on here, but
Is that live?
Live as hell.
Okay.
I
Is that a
think it
live
is.
album?
I want to say it is. It's a live album.
Okay.
And last but not least, some Janis Joplin. This one's
sir.
called Pearl.
Yes, sir.
And who else did I get? Paul Revere and the Raiders. So that, I mean, I did pretty good. I spent about $23 in there, I think.
That's not bad, yo.
That's
Yeah,
not
it
bad
is.
at all.
Yeah, the records were like two a piece. So
That's not bad, yo. And there's some actual good records, not some
Yeah.
garbage.
and that's what I'm saying. And I didn't even have my turntable with me or nothing like that because I tried to pay. Only thing I brought with me was my my studio and my my MacBook.
Okay, so since you came in right as he was asking the question, you have to answer Rod's question. What do you do? What's your process? How do you get into get prepared for your production?
Good question. I don't get as freaky as Mr. Wallace does. I don't run a jacuzzi with rose petals and daffodil water, but
It gotta be sacred. It gotta be sacred. Like
That's awesome.
but you know what? I heard him say that, but I definitely respect his position on it.
Yeah, for real.
And I like his approach to it because most people don't think about it, in those terms. And when he said that, I was like, wow, you know what? That makes a whole lot of sense. You know what I'm saying? Because like you said, what you're doing, you're actually taking a piece of time, man, that spiritually, man, like, that moment in time when that whole situation was like brought forth in art form and then created, like you said, man, it's almost like you're conjuring spirits or some shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like you then having a seance, you know what I'm saying, an artistic seance, when you chopping up samples and so I definitely I feel you on that. But to answer your question though, it's pretty much it's real. I'm basic as shit, dude. I was digging off YouTube this Saturday morning, man, just making shit in the hotel room. I'm really, I don't have a ritual. I just gotta make sure I got something to drink, like some water or something. I gotta make sure that, like I gotta make sure that when I hear a sample, I gotta make sure I have the right drums that complement the sample. Like if there are drums in the sample, I gotta match them. I gotta match those drums tit for tat. Like I ain't no half stepping when it comes to that.
Right.
I don't have a spiritual thing like Wallace got. I think that's dope too, man. By the way, I don't have a real spiritual, deal with the records, but I just try to make sure that I try to do it justice. I don't want to just do something half-assed when I'm doing it. I just want to do something that kind of translate what I hear in it.
I think with everybody that's in our crew and a lot of people that we respect and appreciate, there's a difference between us and I hate to go there, but like some certain younger people to where we actually have a respect for the music. Like we can sit there, put the record on and just listen to the music as opposed to just trying to take the first 30 seconds and find something hot, and chop it up real quick. That's the difference between us and other folks.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, man. Like a lot of times I can listen to a whole record and I can walk around. It used to be a point where I would just put it on and I walk around and I wouldn't even be listening to it physically, I don't think. But it would be something that I heard, and I would run back and like, oh shit, hold up, what's that?
Right.
And running back. I think the beauty of the turntable that I own now, the Audio Technica, it has a reverse button on it. So
That's
I
nice.
don't, so I don't have to spin it. I don't have to spin it back as much as I used to. Like, lick my fingertips and run it back or whatever.
This dude over here getting technological.
Hey, but I just, the whole process of it. Like, I remember when I first started digging and stuff, man, and like, I'm one of them cats that would take the first 30 seconds. Also, I would go comb through the record for the other pieces in it that, like, okay, let's say if I found out that, let's say Ninth used the same sample, right? What I would do is like he didn't use the whole joint. So I'm gonna go in and use the ones that he didn't use, and I'm gonna chop them out of there, and I'm gonna make my beat.
Right.
But but like you said, it just depends though, man. And I gotta have something to drink, something to snack on, and I gotta just have like I can't be disturbed. Like when I'm focused on something, and a lot of times a lot of y'all guys are married or whatever. If your people like my people, they don't care what you're working on. They like, hey, I got a problem, or I need this, or I need that. What you want with these greens? What you want with these tilapias? Or this tilapia? What you? Hey, look, hey, let me work on this shit first. You know what I'm saying? Damn.
Yeah,
but I just because when I'm zoning out, like when I got that groove, or I got these chops. I need to be like, man, man, it's been so many times and where my wife walk in the room and ask me like the most basic, simplest question. And I'll be like, what? Like, hold up, man, let me, like, now I'd be like, you know what, man, I probably should have answered like that. Shit. So now I got, on top of me finishing out my joint, I got to be like, hey, I would love this and this and this, but at that time she mad, so I got to make up for it, so. I often shoot myself in the foot, but when I'm in that creative process, I don't like to, people will call my phone. I would just turn my phone. I would just, completely turn it on mute and just turn it up face down so I can't watch the screen.
Yep,
so it's like, I kind of like, it's almost like reading a book for me. Like I'll leave it at that. It's like reading a book for me. When I'm in that mode, I'm just intrigued. I'm more intrigued about what I'm doing and what I'm trying to come up with. So it's like if you got a good book you're trying to read, and it's really captivating. You're trying to get it within that book, like a Grisham novel or some shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Hey, let me ask you this, and I'm gonna jump on to the next one. Do you think hip hop is dead? And if you think it's dead, why? And if it is,
I never thought hip hop was dead. And Nas is like one of my favorite rappers. I think hip hop was dead in the form of I think their statement. It's a couple ways you can look at it, but for me, hip hop has never been dead. But the way it was presented from the golden era till about 2000 or something, the way it was presented is dead. But the overall culture has never been dead, and it will never die. It's just that you got what's happening is when you got these major corporations, man, that who back and put all the money up. Even back then, back in the days, for every Rob Bass and Easy Rock or whatever school of D you had a kid in play. You had you had the fun shit and you had the rough shit. Like now,
diversity.
It's diversity, and so like now it's like corporations, they're putting out there what they want to program you with. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's like I always tell people all the time, like, man, that you will be hard pressed, and you will be hard pressed to know or to say that when ain't no real music out there. You know why I know that's a lie? Because Mr. Waters make good music. Tashir make good music whenever he ain't working full time for Computer Music Academy. Wide Body killing it. RTO killing it. Yep. Dixie Freeze killing it. So that's why when people say that, there's no validity to that statement because what's happening is people are more dependent on corporations to spoon feed them what good music is when they're not feeding them good music. They're feeding them byproducts of a culture. You know what I'm saying? They're feeding them byproducts. They're feeding them the stool, if you will, of the culture.
Ladies and gentlemen, Digger Hurts.
He's here.
Yeah, and to further Digger's point,
Digger Hurts no more.
To further his point, the corporations are following marketing trends now, more so than just letting that artist be that artist. Back in the 80s and 90s, hip hop was still relatively new. So a lot of times they didn't know what they had in an artist, so they just kind of let the artist do what they do. Give them his advance. All right, you go to the studio. Now, well, you need to make this kind of song because this song made this much money fourth quarter last year, so you need to do what he did.
And not only that, also there used to be a time in music departments, not only for just hip hop but R&B as well, where you had an A&R department that took that young talent and it cultivated it.
Yep.
and then it kind
Artist
of, you know,
development.
yeah, artists, and it groomed them to, you know, in order to put them out and them they be a polished and finished product. So now they don't have. It's like this. You have to come in with a built-in fan base now. If you ain't got a built-in fan base, they're not gonna put any money. They're not gonna give you a 360 deal, which is raping them all together anyway. But I had this discussion with a young partner of mine, and I was telling him about how, but when it comes to black music, they put so much less. They put such a negative value on black music that they've made it disposable. So it's like if I cheapen it, eventually I can just sell it to the highest bidder. I'm not looking to create art. You know, I'm trying to create what's good for the now. Cause I'm not because in most and it feeds right into the young mentality because most young cats they not thinking of longevity. They want they want now. They want to be seen. They want to get money, but they don't want to create art. So, you know, that falls right into you know, that they fall right into that trap. Look at Trinidad James. You know what I'm saying? Dude was popping for a minute, but guess what? When his flame fizzled, they got rid of him. He's with Def Jam. They got rid of him. You know why they got rid of him? Because he didn't want to come up with another one of those gimmicky songs. And so in terms of that, you know what I'm saying? They put the kibosh on. They deep sixed him.
2 Chainz.
You know what? I wanted to answer Mr. Wallace's question about the process and everything.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I just need to be in the mind frame of making.
Wings.
Damn it, dude! I was about to get to that. You just ruined it for me.
You just took away his thunder, dog.
Yeah, man.
But hey, you understand? I was in the thrift store, man, looking for an air fryer there. I was like, let it be an air fryer here, please.
Not yet, right?
Them joints too
Man, but yeah, I was gonna say I said I need to be in a mind frame first before I can even try to make anything because it's just not gonna come out right, and it's just gonna end up being some booty if I'm not feeling it, if I'm too tired or whatever. Yeah, I just gotta be cool first before I even do anything. But once I'm good, I can go and knock out 5-6 beats. But I gotta have my lemon pepper wings.
Lemon pepper wings.
You know, I want to bring this up real quick about it. Just consider the fact when I first started back engineering and everything, you know, I was told that the best thing to do would be make sure that you schedule time to work. Like, don't just leave it up to you doing it just when you have time. Like, literally schedule time every week. Like, for me, it used to be 8 to 12 every Saturday night because that's when I would be trying to turn that CMA in. You know, they changed it to Sundays. So I literally have to say, okay, from 8:30 to 11:30, I'm doing nothing but making music. I'm not playing video games. I might be watching a video or something like that, but other than that, it's nothing but making music because it's almost like a treat. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
like,
right.
I make music tonight, I ain't gotta worry about nothing.
Right. I'll give you one better than that, man. I remember like 10 years ago, when I first got FL Studio. Dude, don't you know, I was doing at least 5 beats a day. Like, I would come home and just work. If I, you know, and like even now, whenever I don't, the reason why I don't schedule time because to me that's like forcing it. So if it's not for me now. If I schedule, it's like me forcing it. Like when I probably got this phone tonight, since I ain't gotta go to work in the morning, I'm gonna go upstairs. I got the 4,000 plugged up right now. And I'm going to work because if I say, well, I'm gonna start at 11 o'clock. Dude, when I get up in the morning time, whenever I get up, before I even brush my teeth, I'm walking across the hall in that room, close that door, go through the records, and I'm going to work. But I feel what you're saying, Dixie, with that though, because a lot of time when you lead a busy schedule, you have to schedule time because you know, yeah, you have to. You know, that's why I enjoy coming home for lunch. A lot of times I don't even think about eating when I come home for lunch. It's either one or two things gonna happen when I come home for lunch. I'm either take a power nap, and if I'm rested, I'm going to make beats. It's just that simple.
Right. That was actually Wallace talking, Digger.
Yeah, that was
But
wild.
I'm sorry.
but let me jump in on it. As far as my process goes, for starters, my home studio is in my basement. So the first thing I got to do is make sure nothing's crawling on me. First of all. So once I
Hey, I
get that
respect
cleared up,
that.
once I get that out of the way, then I just kind of settle in. If it's something
Right.
organic, if it's something organic, I'm making, I usually start with chords and just go build something off of that. And then if it's a sample, like you guys, I listen to the whole sample, and then I just listen for something to jump out at me, and then I just go at it from there. And then
Yeah.
as far as the scheduling thing, I have to be on the schedule because I have young kids, and my wife
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
we alternate. Like tonight was my evening. Like we alternate. Like tonight was my evening, so I worked on my WHA for the week earlier today because it was my evening with the 1-year-old. Then tomorrow it'll be her evening with the 1-year-old, and I can
Understood.
rock out tomorrow night.
Yeah,
So
that's what I'm saying. 'Cause most of everybody on here, is a family man in some regard. Not everybody everybody got kids at Martillo, I think.
Yeah.
But
lucky guy.
yeah, but but like I said, everybody's a family man. Everybody here's a family man who has people who need our attention in one way or the other one or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
that's understood. That's why when you were saying, I was like, you know what, you're right though. I you know what, I need a schedule to get when I need to finish, not start but finish. Because I'll go if I start, I won't stop until it's like time for bed, and time went past and I ain't talked to my daughter in a couple hours, or wife trying to get my attention, but she know if I'm on the phone, I'm on a hangout or I'm making a beat, she don't have to bother me or shit like that. So if I can get pretty much a stop time. But it's hard to stop, bro. When you in the groove of things, and you got shit going. You steadily you in that cooking, bro.
Right.
It's hard,
Right.
but like sometimes you have to like you were saying, man. You have to set aside that time because family is important. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
And
Very important.
I feel because even when I do have my time, somebody always needs something, and I got to run all the way upstairs to make that happen.
Mm-hmm.
Then run all the way back down, and I'm out of the groove.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's what it is.
And my
Right.
process, I go to I take myself with me to work in a small, I take got another like mobile setup. Only thing I don't have is another laptop, which I'm getting fixed now, and I got a little micro I'll take with me, and I'll get some ideas, and I'll get my phone on my tablet, and I'll sample from YouTube. Now I'm not gonna bang out anything out, but I'm gonna sample a lot of stuff and get some ideas. So by the time I get home about 3 in the morning, I'm hooking back up and I'm going in, and then I'm going to bed on schedule. It's got to be that time or nothing.
Hey,
Yeah.
those are lies. Those are lies. Your process, you gonna beat somebody ass, throw them in the trunk, go to the house and make a beat about the whole situation.
And you might let them out the next day.
That's how it speaks sound. Yeah.
I mean, now with the run that I just had last week, I think I finally figured out a perfect way to get beats done and still get my work done.
Sure,
all
you
the
damn
content.
serial killer.
But I mean, this week, with me and Widebody were talking right before the everybody came in for the broadcast, and this week is the first time in my life I've ever done, first of all, 3 beats in a row, and then 5 beats. I went 5 days straight of releasing a beat a day. I've never done that before.
That was such a beautiful thing.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
But now it's like, I think I finally figured out how I'm going to get things done, because as I was saying before, just like what Wallace was saying, where he schedules time and he knows he's going to be locked in from this particular time.
Mm-hmm.
With me, I'm just like Wallace. I think me and Wallace have very similar styles and ways we go about making our music. I put so much work into one beat to where, you know, I'm not a Hertz. I'm not a wide body. I'm not an RTO where y'all cats break out. Y'all can bang out a complete beat in 30 minutes, you know what I'm saying? Or less. You know what I'm saying? I'm not like that, unfortunately. But I know if I actually find something that's dope, you know, sample-wise, or if I'm going organic or whatever it is, I'm going to be there 2+ hours. Easy. Mm-hmm. So now what I did this week is just, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and just allow myself whatever time I need to bang out. I bang out, and I went, like I said, each day I've released something, 5 days straight. So now I finally figured out there I'm going to have weeks on where I'm at, where this was my week on that I just completed, where I'm doing beats every day. And now this week coming up, I'm not doing any beats. I'm doing tutorials and reviews every day. I'm going to dedicate that same amount of time that I dedicated to the beats. That's going to be to creating content every day. And I figure if I go, you know, back and forth, alternating weeks, I will be able to satisfy everything that I need. You know, I should say all of my talents. I'll say that. And my requirements, because I got to give y'all a lot of content, too. So, yeah.
Hey, Wild Body, I think you might have to block somebody in the chat.
You got this clown in the chat.
I was going to say, one thing that helped me, I just had to be honest with myself, man. I had to cut some stuff out. Like, I don't watch any live television at all.
Damn.
You and me both, man. I don't either, man. I don't.
Because that takes away from my music time. Huh?
I said I watched the night of tonight. But you know, it's funny you bring that up because I've been seriously on this giving up cable kick. Because I do everything on the internet. But I hear you. How old are your kids?
14, 8, and 1.
Oh yeah, man. Listen.
That's
it.
Hey, that's called the No Sibling Left Behind program. Because I'm already telling them, call your brother. Go ahead and like Ayana saved my life. Call your brother.
Hilarious. Super hilarious.
But yeah, I had to sit down and be honest, because it was one time I wasn't getting any work done music wise, and I said, what is taking away from my time? And this basically came down to time management. I was spending too much time watching television, so I just had to let that go.
Man, you talking to a power junkie, a UFC junkie. But you know what? The power of technology in the digital era that we live in. A lot of this shit is on Netflix, so I don't even or on demand shit. So I'm not a cat that gotta watch. Like if I'm watching anything, it's sports. If it ain't sports, it's some shit like Law and Order, or you know what I'm saying, something that I can go back and look at on demand.
Right.
And,
I mean, I watch stuff, but I record it, and that way I can fast forward through everything and cut that show almost in half. You know, all the commercials, all the commercials and timeouts and all the free throws. I got time for that, man.
Yeah, not today. So, and that's the beauty of it. Like, ain't nothing gonna stand in the way of me doing it. If I got a beat I'm trying to do, ain't nothing gonna stand in the way. Like right now, I got power pause, bro, because my backpack is right here in front of me. I'm about to unzip all this shit and plug it up. Yeah, pause.
See what I do.
My whole weekend been one big pause after another, man, talking to my old man. I can't tell him that shit, so I just like
man.
Cut it out.
What I was gonna say.
My uncle was like, man, your damn dad come up here and kiss me on the jaw and shit. Like, hey man, super pause. Pause, bro. Pause.
Pause, daddy. Pause.
Oh, those look dope.
Pause. I was gonna say, well, when I do watch television, it's normally when I can't make beats anyway. Like if it's my time to have the kid, have the little one, or if I'm doing some homework, that's when I flip on the television and catch up on the shows or whatever.
Yeah.
But
that's why I don't get caught up into the whole the shit that everybody's watching, like The Walking Dead and
Nah.
That's one reason why I've never got caught up in that whole you know what I'm saying, whirlwind, because I don't want to get so addicted to watching something like that and it takes away from my time I could spend being creative or whatnot.
True.
Right.
Like what I do, because I watch Walking Dead, but I like me and my wife, we kind of just try to go and binge on it. Yeah. So we'll wait. Same thing with Game of Thrones. Like this last season, the first time we watched it from week to week. Normally we'd just wait for the whole thing to be over and just watch it at one time. But
shit! Right. Then my other show just came back on, man. So I gotta pick. I'm just gonna binge watch that at the end of the season. Suits.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to say something about.
man.
I want to say something about like what Tashir was saying. Tashir was saying earlier about just making beats and not necessarily in quantity, but what I do is like I'll make a beat, and this is how I do. If the beat's good enough to get sequenced, then it gets sequenced. If it's not, I let it stay where it is.
You're right,
man.
I'm right there with you, dude.
And if it's good enough to get sequenced, okay, then I say, okay, well, this beat's good enough to get mixed. So then I bounce to Studio One, But if it doesn't, it's a pecking order or whatever. Like,
right,
you got to be good enough to go to the next step. Otherwise, I'm on to the next one.
Real talk,
man. Go to my Instagram page. You're gonna find a lot of shit on that fits that description. There's so many beats in there, man, that I've just recorded just for the sake of saying I did it. And after that, I hit the power button.
Wow,
this guy. Only for the views.
Hey, right.
Got a question to ask the panel.
Yes, sir.
Let me jump.
I don't think you coming through your mic. Oh, dang it.
Let's hope he's not.
I don't think your mic is going through the broadcast.
Oh
bro.
Man. Y'all hell on earth.
It sounds like it's coming straight from the laptop.
It is, man. How about now?
Oh, there you go. Boom.
All right. So I want to ask everybody. I've been seeing a lot of this in the last couple of years, where parents beat their kids online and post it on Facebook, whatever. What do you guys think about that? You think we need to cut that out? Because if it's
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Shea. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say that's just unnecessary. Discipline your children. Keep them out of trouble. You know what I'm saying? You discipline them at home, so the law doesn't have to discipline them, or the government doesn't have to discipline them. But when you go to that's bullying, and that's just extra. Yeah, that's not even cool at all, man.
And let me tell you something that when I say we, you know what I'm talking about when I say we.
Yeah.
And when you do stuff like that, it's like that tells me you know nothing about discretion. Nothing at all.
You do not make good life decisions.
No, and you passing that right on down to those kids who are gonna do the same thing to their kids, same thing to their kids.
I think we live in a time now where, everybody wants to be. Everybody has to be seen. Everybody has to get that 15 minutes of fame, and I don't knock, but all fame ain't just like all money ain't good money. All fame ain't good fame.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And plus with litigation and laws the way they are now, I'm gonna say about 25 years ago. Nah, fuck that. Even I'll say 30 years ago. Dude, nobody had a camera. Nobody even had a damn Polaroid showing when I was getting my ass kicked.
True.
You know what I'm saying? But here's the thing though, and I had a like I said, this young partner I always talk to about shit like this. And I was telling him 30 years ago, it was okay for a black parent to beat their kids within an inch of hell. You know what I'm saying? And they be okay. Switches, belts. I've known some kids got whipped with extension cords, bruh.
Yeah,
but now litigation and the people who are a part of the majority, that faction has for a long time has wanted to make our kids equal to their kids in terms of, if you've known white kids, you already know white kids don't get discipline.
Not to the
You know what I'm
degree that they
saying?
should.
Yeah, but here's the thing though. When you start taking a lot of stuff out of school, and a lot of people said prayer. I agree with that to an extent, but when you start taking like corporal punishment and shit, and you start giving more power to the kids, you know, you totally just switch the dynamic of it. And so like now, since it's like that now, you know, where the kids have all the power, you know what I'm saying? You can't whoop your kids for, you know, stealing a damn apple out the apple cart. But let Officer fucking Winslow see that shit. He got the right not only to lock you up, but hey, if you get too smart and you get out of hand, he can kill your ass too.
Yep.
So, but back to, I don't want to go too off the tangent, but kid, I think nowadays, like I don't agree with that. I don't personally agree with that because I would never spank my daughter and record it. Because I don't give a fuck about the backlash. I just care more about her feelings and my discretion. As Dixie Freely said earlier, I care more about that because that's a private matter, and I don't think the world needs to see that. I've seen a bunch of humiliating videos where mothers you're actually disintegrating the bond between mother and daughter. Instead of educating that child about what you want to educate them about, you're actually humiliating them, and what you're doing is you're severing those ties. Because I'm gonna be real. You let my pops with this and shit like that, like man, that dude would have been at odds until it was even.
Damn.
But right, but you know, my pops was the type of dude that if he dealt with you, he dealt with you, and after he dealt with you, he let you know, hey, this is why I did this.
Right.
Because hey, A, B, and C, then X, Y, and Z. So you'll know, you know, going forward, you don't do that. And that was it.
Hey,
he beat my ass, man, put that shit on Candy Camera, America's Funniest Home Video, shit, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But,
Talking
you know,
trying to save your life. Like, come on,
yeah,
man.
but, you know, I just think that because, matter of fact, when I was in Florida, my aunt asked me about it, and I was like, nah, I ain't seen that. I said, I ain't seen it. She's like, you need to see this. And she showed me, and I was like, hey, man, cut that off. I don't want to see that. I said,
I cut that off within 10 seconds of watching it.
Yeah, I'm like, that's stupid because what do you, as a parent, what do you gain from that, and what does that child gain from that? You know, there are better ways. I agree. There are better ways to handle discipline of a child. Like, dude, I'm telling you, talking to me. I got a 19-year-old, and I can tell you, I've probably done everything to him, but string him up by his ankles. But I would never go to the extreme to humiliate him in front of the internet. I've told him, like my mom used to tell me, look, don't make me show out in front of hey, you show out on me, you're gonna regret it. Or my mom would say like, all right, don't make me embarrass you. If my mom said that to you, it was on the horizon, so you better do whatever you gotta do to correct that before she put her hand in it.
Quick story. My mom had to come down to my school one time and pop me right in front of my teacher. Right in front of my teacher. Yo, she popped me so hard, yo. And I was, my teacher was, man, let me tell you. She popped me, man, you could hear my mouth inside. You know how you hear. You know
oh my God.
And I was you know what? She never had to go to that school again. Cause
right.
It wasn't happening.
Look at him. If it isn't if it ain't Hollywood Horatio over there. Miles.
Hollywood Horatio.
Hollywood Horatio, man. He's so Hollywood. Now look at him over there, man.
Miles, you get spankings when you were little?
Hello?
Never got spanked?
Turn your mic up. Turn your mic up.
Hello. Check.
Yeah, turn the mic up.
We got that Super Mac and shit.
Check. Yeah, check.
Work that Super Mac. Yeah, you ever got
Miles got the Florida man that he hit his chest. He got 3 new chest hairs.
I have a lot of body hair.
You been running at all? You been running?
In the gym, yeah. I put my roommate through the workout, you know, go hard, you know.
I'm killing your roommate, man.
I just came to I was in Orlando this morning, man, about 9 this morning. I stopped there for a minute, got some grub.
I did not get spanked as a kid, no. No, I did not.
That's the reason why you wilding out now.
Yep.
Right. Person like a sailor.
He said, yo, he talking about
My
chicks and
parents
everything. Man. He talking about shorties and everything. He told me and Tashir, man, there's shorties everywhere down
Bro,
there.
it's crazy, yo. It's crazy out here, man. They everywhere. It's like,
Hold on. Did we not try to educate you, man? Did we not tell you that?
Right, tell him.
Everything we told you came. Everything we told you came
I heard
through, man.
you. I had
As
to
soon
experience
as
it,
he
like I
touched
said.
down.
I had to experience it, man. Like it's
Hey,
crazy out here, bro.
As soon as he stepped off the plane, everything manifested at once.
Hey, Miles was like, what's the kid on the Revenge of the Nerds? Not Poindexter, but the small kid. What's that? Wormser?
Oh yeah.
Miles is Wormser. He got that, man. He got a taste of it. Hey man, you better stay focused though. If not, I'm coming down there with my belt.
Right. Hey, let me ask everybody: is everybody voting this presidential race, election? I mean,
I feel like I don't.
You got a choice.
Hey, I mean, we got a great choice. We got Donald Trump, and we got Hillary Clinton. My question is to you is, I think
the only reason I'm voting for Clinton is to not vote for Trump and to build more votes against Trump. That's the goal.
That's the whole scheme of things.
Yeah, that's the mission. It's a shame that it's been degraded to that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But Hillary gets the default vote.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, the thing about it is they gotta make you so sick of Trump, bro, that you gotta vote her in.
Yep.
Yeah.
But that's by grand design though. I don't know if you're like, man, here you go with that conspiracy theory shit. But trust me.
We brought that up earlier actually.
Yeah. RTO spoke for you and everything. He said, in the name of in the words of Hertz, I mean, you go ahead and say it. Dumb down.
It's all the grand plan.
So everyone's in agreement. Everyone's in agreement that Trump's going to take this thing. Trump's going to take it. I mean, not Trump, Hillary.
I hope.
I hope. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, okay. Let me say this. You know where I am. I'm in music. I'm in video games. I'm in wrestling. You know, I'm in my community and my peoples that I hang with. You know, I'm not a politic type dude. I'm not a worldly news type person. I do my best to avoid all that stuff so I can keep myself from being depressed.
Right.
But
right.
That being said, the big issue with Hillary, on top of the stuff that Bill and her instituted, you know, from the 90s and whatnot, that kind of screwed us over as a culture, as a race. Aside from that, the big issue with Hillary is the corporate influence or whatever. That doesn't equal she's going to run the country into a damn toilet to me.
Right.
It doesn't.
No.
It just means that she's gonna make some decisions, you know, some decisions based on who support her or whatever. But I honestly believe this clown Trump is going to kill us all.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about just black folks. I'm talking about this dude is going to get the whole United States blown off the damn planet.
I need all Muslims out of this country in 3 weeks.
It's that right there. Donald Trump has already alienated everybody but older white people.
Right.
Pretty much. And so he ain't doing himself no favor.
And I think people need to also take a look at this too, man. Donald Trump he totally dismantled and destroyed the USFL, the United States Football League back in the 80s.
They got a dollar deal.
He ran them into the ground. So if let's just use America as a microcosm of what the USFL is.
Go ahead, man.
You know what I'm saying? So if he ran a company or corporation such as that into the ground.
No. Hold on. Let me stop you right there, Hertz.
Okay.
Corporations.
Oh yeah.
Multiple that either ran through the ground.
Trump University.
But the reason why a businessman such as him could never be president, in my estimation, because you got to think about it. They had a presidential dude by the name of H. Ross Perot.
Yes, sir.
Years ago.
I remember him.
Because see, people like that can't be bought. So with that logic,
Take
you
chances.
can't. I can't vote. I can't give you my validation, or because people thinking that their vote matters. In which, in a small case, it does depend on what side of the spectrum you are. Because if you're a person, if you're a candidate that can't be bought by corporations because you got your own billions or whatever you got, it's kind of hard to get anything done in the country, especially by the special interest groups. See what I'm saying? So
business people take chances.
Here's my
too.
thing. The thing that outside of Trump just offending everybody that's not Caucasian, he just does not have a level of empathy for me to vote for him. All right, that's the first thing. Second thing, to say the same thing you just said, Digger, but from a different perspective, the true powers that be, the people behind the curtain, know he can't be bought either.
Right.
So they're not going to put somebody in the White House who not going to play ball with them.
Yeah.
Hell no.
And to be more specific, I'm talking about the families that own the Federal Reserve. They the true runners of this country.
The Rothschilds, the Rothschilds. There's one more dude I'm thinking about.
Rockefellers, Robert.
Yeah.
Well, we said, a couple months ago we were talking about. I remember CX saying, "There's no way they're gonna nominate him Republican. They're not gonna. You're not gonna be the Republican nomination." And look,
Well, the thing about it is that was default. That's because everybody else fell out, so he had to get it.
He's just scary. He's just scary, man. That's all.
Look, my uncle is a Republican. All right. And it's funny, but he make enough money to be a Republican, so I can't laugh at him too hard. But he said the same thing a while back. He said there's no way he's going to win the nomination. I'm like, you shitting me? I've gone to bed one night with Al Gore as my president and woke up the next day with George Bush my president.
Oh, remember that? Oh man.
So anything can happen.
That was
that was because Al Gore was on some let's clean the earth up shit. Like, nah, you know what? We like our smog and overpopulating.
The fix was in, definitely.
Pretty much.
That was so sad.
I told my roommate, I was in college at the time. I told my roommate, I said, Jeb Bush is gonna do all he can to make sure his brother wins his state.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine him sitting at dinner. Imagine if he
that was the last state to get counted.
Imagine him at a family dinner. I'm not talking to you, Jeb. Don't even look my way, you son of a bitch. How you gonna
Didn't they have to recount it like 3 different times?
Yeah. Yep. And not only that, it was thousands of votes in poor communities, not just blacks and whites that were disenfranchised. They
had dead people votes on some of that.
It was a mess. It was a mess.
So
and then the second time it was in Ohio.
Yeah, that's right. That's
very
right.
similar situation, man, and it's that annoys the hell out of me. It really
sucks,
does,
man. At the end of the day, it's all about the electoral college. So does your vote really matter? It depends on what the majority of the people in your state.
And here we go. I saw a meme. I'm going to go back to the meme because it sums up what I would like to say very simply. It's not about who spends 4 to 8 years in the White House. It's who spends 30 to 40 years in the damn, the seats of the House and the board and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
That's what we really need to take care of.
Right, and that right there is local election.
You have to know the tree. It's not executive. Legislative, judicial. That's not how it works. It's corporations, government, then the people.
right. Pretty much.
Corporations run the government, then the government run the people.
And to your point, on a larger scale, that needs to be the focus. Local elections. That's when you vote for your senators. That's when you vote for your congressman.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But you know what's crazy?
Up out of here, dude.
The local government is the ones that's most corrupted, man.
And that's why you got to get rid of them.
Right.
I saw a statistic today that said it was either 10 or 20% approval rating, but they sit in their seats for decades.
You got people still in the house.
Sense.
You still got people in the house that voted against the Civil Rights Bill, man.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
I think Strong Thurman just died.
yeah,
Yepper.
he
Just.
wasn't. I'm not going nowhere. They're not dying.
And David and David Duke trying to get back in there.
Yeah,
Of
David.
course.
Too.
And he will.
Yep. Right place, man. I tell you.
Because you got a lot of people who think whose logic lines up with their logic. So people gonna vote for people who, especially people who got a little cachet, if you will. They want people in office that think like them, and they can get there, they can help get their agendas across.
Pushed. Exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, heard some.
So-
Let me ask you this. When you get there, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm not finished, bro.
I want to know where you live. Like certain neighborhoods, like say different culture neighborhoods. Do you see a lot of Trump apparel? A lot of Trump paraphernalia.
Where I live, I see rebel flag, I see Trump signs, I see a lot of that stuff. But you know what's funny about it? I don't turn a blind eye to it. I just don't give it a lot of my attention.
Yeah.
Because, but what it does is it allows me to see people for who they are, and not just because it lets me know on a more below the skin surface type of deal that where they are mentally. So I've seen people with Trump signs because I don't really deal with a lot of people. I don't work, I'm home, I deal with my family. That's it. But there's certain people that I see, even my coworkers. Because I'm me and this other cat. We're like the only two black dudes that do what we do in the company. So sometimes conversations kind of come up, and when they come up, I shut them back down because you can't. I'm not your typical dude when it comes to certain things that you think you might be able to get away to say. That's not me.
Right.
I don't play it safe because safe ain't in my it ain't really in my vocabulary. I'm gonna call a spade a spade. If one guy tried to defend the Confederacy, and after that he didn't bring no shit about that no more. Cause I gave him like a 30-minute lecture about that shit, man. Like why that shit was like the most insanely racist shit since the Nazis.
Right.
And he after that they don't come at me with that shit no more. But what it has done, it has opened my eyes to a lot. Even just watching it on the internet, like it has opened my eyes to how covert it was until Trump showed up.
Exactly.
So when Trump showed up, people wearing it on their sleeve proudly, bro. I mean, people that you are neighbors with, people that I think I saw something on Wallace's page one day. Yeah, I saw something on Wallace's page that in a neighborhood up there.
Make the townhouse white. To make the township
white. Township white again, like and what's funny? Trump is not gonna win. Well, let me rephrase that. What if Trump doesn't win?
Right.
Right. So now we on this cleanup campaign. Like I didn't mean it, or you still gonna stick to your guns, or how's it gonna play out? Because now you gotta eat crow.
You gotta reconcile.
You gotta reconcile. Your neighbor. So what you gonna say about Hillary? Because now, dude, I'll never forget this shit as long as I live. I work with a dude, and he said the reason why, because down here they have this thing called chili and cinnamon rolls that they eat, right? So when Michelle Obama pushed for the initiative for healthy kids, they started going whole wheat gluten free type of deal, right? So in school, the man told me one day, man, he said, man, Obama took our cinnamon rolls away. Man, I laughed so hysterically.
Really?
Exactly, because they go to show you to what extent that people that don't look like us, what extent they go through, man, and how the inner hatred, their inner disapproval of anything that doesn't look like them, or they don't understand, and how to what extent they'll blame somebody for shit that they don't even have well, he got control over, but it's so minute. Why the fuck wouldn't you want your kids healthy?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? My little girl eats wheat, whole wheat and shit. At my crib, we don't do white bread, so She's used to it. Her dad ain't no big deal. Me, Dad, I like wheat bread. I said, you damn right you don't like wheat bread.
But on that note, I'm gonna go ahead and want to thank everybody for coming. I'm gonna shut it down right now. We're still the same information. Thank everybody. Pause. Thank everybody for coming.
Pause.
Dixie Phillies. Is that CX in the building?
CX is in the building.
What's going on? Let me close this down.
What up, Debo?
Everybody for coming through.
Come in, Plan B.
RTO, Dixie Freely, I am Digger Hertz, Miles Crow Chain G Hop, Mr. Wallace, RTO, Tashir Rashay, and I am DJ Wild Body. Join us next week, Talk That Stuff 12, where we cover all hot topics, discussions, chats, everything. Thank everybody for coming through. See you again next week.
Peace.